Are you one of those anxious weirdos who sits on their killer lobby screen for a whole while because you're too scared to get looped or bullied? Are you looking for the ultimate easy mode killer, one that's perfect to grind with, isn't map dependent at all, and literally cannot get looped? Well, look no further because I present to you the twins. So before we demonstrate why the twins are as strong as they are, let's go over the build real quick. Now the twins have a kind of signature perk in Force Penance, similar to Artists with DMS and Singularity with Rapid Brutality. And I agree that perk is really great on them, but right now I prefer running a Hex build. But let's go over the add-ons first real quick. So for Stu, the purple add-on is their best add-on by far, because it makes Victor 0.6 meters per second quicker, which means he goes up from 150% to 165%, which is huge. Not just in chase, but also when patrolling gens. And then for the other one, you could go with Madeline's Scarf, which is pretty much half of the purple one. So it would make you 0.9 meters per second quicker overall. Or you could use the Toy Sword, which makes you be able to pounce more quickly with Victor. Like that little bar will fill up more quickly. But most of that add-on was made base kit, so I don't really think it's worth running anymore. So my favorite second add-on is her Eerie add-ons, the Silencing Cloth, which makes Charlotte be undetectable for 20 seconds every time you wake up as her. Even after you pounce with Victor and you switch back to her, you'll be undetectable. And the reason why I think it's so strong is you are pretty much at your weakest when you're Charlotte. So this add-on carries the weak part of her. It is super effective to keep her near the center of the map, or you could even usually try to hide her behind objects or sometimes even around gens. So you're going to get tons of free hits with this. And once they figure out you have it, you can also keep them on their toes a lot more than normal. And a lot of the counterplay against twins revolves around knowing where Charlotte is, so it's going to make that a lot harder. And then I usually bring a black ward to make sure I can always use these two. What I also really love about twins is they are not map dependent at all. The loops don't really matter because of Victor. The only thing that's kind of annoying with her is maps that are really big. Because normally you kind of want to keep Charlotte near the center to always have the presence. Be able to send Victor anywhere you please. Lock down gens, be ready to hook someone, this and that. And that can work great, especially on big maps. But sometimes you also want to force them to play in a certain area because either like a 3 gen or a 4 gen. Or even more so if one or two of them have boons, because boons can really hurt the twins. So it's always good to force them to play away from their boon. But if the map's really big and you try to do that, that can really rob you of pressure because they'll always run all the way over. So let's talk perks. Her best perk, which in my opinion is by far the best killer perk on pretty much every killer, is Corrupt Intervention. Similar to Plague, it's even stronger on her because the first thing, your first job in every trial is to get everyone injured. Similar to Plague, who has to infect everyone. So you usually park Charlotte somewhere near the middle of the map, unbind Victor, get your first pounce, and then if you're lucky you'll get a free hit with your Eerie add-on. And then you're free to either go for a down or injure one other person and then go for the down and try to snowball. And all this time, Corrupt Intervention will still be up. And then especially in conjunction with Ruin, it's going to be really hard for them to get anything done before you get your first hook. And sometimes if you get unlucky with totem spawns, or if they kind of realize what you're doing, they'll use your corrupt time instead to cleanse totems, which is why you bring Pentimento. And also Undying to keep Ruin up longer. So this build is very heavy on the early game, and it also gives them tons of extra objectives, so they will not really know what to do. You can keep the whole team super busy as twins. This helps with that even better. You could also swap Pentimento with something like Devour Hope. The twins are great at using Devour Hope. It's really fun. But I think overall you usually get more. It's the stronger choice to bring Pentimento because you have two other hexes and it just protects you against cleanses that much better. Alright, and then two more things before we start. Especially due to the stealth aspect of my build, It really helps to wear a skin that doesn't have a backpack, because her standard skin has this huge thing in the back. So when you try to hide her somewhere, the basket in the back will stick out, which is to your detriment. So pick a skin that's kind of thin. The one from the latest Rift is like that. And then so is the sailor appearance. But my personal favorite is the fan created one here, because it really reminds me of the bone armor from the forest. It looks pretty rad. It also really hides her outline, and has a lot of different colors. I think it camouflages her super well, and it looks pretty cool. And the antler weapon looks pretty rad, but obviously that's up to you. Just my advice, use one that's kind of thin, that doesn't have a backpack. There are multiple ones. And my second point before we start is, as someone who really likes French and like France as the country, the correct way to say her name is Charlotte de. It is not like Desai or Dize or whatever. It's Charlotte de. Just for the geeks among you. Okie doke, let's start slaying. And we get Ear of Crows. Yikes. This is easily one of the most survivor-sided maps, but it's not that bad on her. Or them. The loops aren't really an issue, it's just the size that's kind of annoying. Okay, our totems are to the right and to the left of main. So yeah, always hide her around the center and then patrol the non-corrupted gens. Alright, people on here. That's a hit. Another person in main as well. They're going to run out the front. Let's stay out of the line of sight. Damn, I actually thought she saw me there for a second. So yeah, that's pretty much already great pink add-on value. Like 10 seconds in the match, 2 people injured. She got rid of Victor pretty quickly. That's good, we have him back. And she's healing upstairs. But the pallet, well actually I think the pallet's on this side. She doesn't have balance. That's her first down. It feels like the Lara and the Jill might be together. Yeah, it really feels that way. But we injured her as Charlotte, so she couldn't take a body block. And she was already healed, so I think she healed herself. And this person's around here for some reason. That was kind of pathetic. So essentially, 1 hook, 1 injury, and they have gotten nothing done. And someone actually cleansed a dull totem. That's pretty much every Pentimento user's wet dream. That's another pounce. We also need to break open the main door. This one. Because it's really annoying to play around with Victor. And we get some more pink add-on value. I'm telling you, man, it's fucking great. They already unhooked her. Interesting. They're on that. I'm gonna hook her near the gen. Oh yeah, I actually also have a challenge active for, I think, hooking 2 people in succession within 60 seconds. So twins are great for that, because you have to do it 3 times. So, alright, she has sprint burst. That's pretty obvious. Yeah, this area is actually kind of good against twins. See, because of the stairs, she did that pretty well. Stairs, you have to be really careful around stairs because the hitboxes are really funky. But yeah, I'm gonna scare them off this. Ooh, it's pretty far. That's a hit. They might try to greet it, actually. Yeah, she's back on it. That's not enough, man. Oh wow, she almost let me grab her. Okay, so especially... Damn, I meant to get that pallet without getting stunned. Especially because it's around the center. We're gonna keep Charlotte near this gen. She's behind this. Always make sure you hit these. Missing pounces with Victor will cost you dearly. Make sure you always hit them. So now we can hook her next to the progressed gen, and because of Ruin, it's already progressed far enough that they can't get it done while I'm hooking. Alright, 2 Penty spots. I need to get my Penty in. I mean, this is pretty much all the progress they have, but still, Penty's so strong, you really want it up. What they could do, well, not that. They could crouch to the gen, but you only get Killer Instinct on Victor if when they're not crouched. So if they wanted to be real cheeky, they could crouch over to the gen while I penty this and then finish it while I'm not there. And I would be none the wiser because I wouldn't get killer instinct. And they're unhooking again. This is very strange decision making. I'm gonna do this. Damn, I got lucky. So I wanted to put her in deep wound there, but whenever you do that, that's pretty much a free kick. Like, she could have just turned around and kicked me. But she didn't, so yay me. It's also very questionable how fast they unhook each other. Because seeing it, like, the thing with twins is you cannot loop them. Like, Victor is so strong, you can't loop them. The way to play around them is take hits for each other, heal whenever you can, and unhook late, because like, it is very easy to tunnel with Victor. So you don't want to unhook this quickly. Let's get this pallet. Damn, that hit me. I thought that was far enough to respect it. Alright, light this up, get this pallet. This pallet's pretty strong against Victor while it's down. Oh, really? Okay, give me some pallets. Why not? Let's break this. Then we pentamento this. And then we go see what the others are up to. Probably back on the central gen. Actually, let's play around this. This is a strong pallet against him. Unless you do the switch fake. Let's go. Yeah, those really short loop pallets are pretty greetable. So you have to be really careful not to get stunned. But you can usually switch back and forth if you catch them in the wrong moment. They get greedy for the kick and then you get the easy hit. Okay, she's running upstairs. The pallet's on the other side. We already know this. So she has nothing here. And she's keeping Victor. So now you want to commit. If she had gotten rid of Victor and had more distance and ran up here, you just leave her up there and park Charlotte downstairs and do damage with Victor elsewhere. But I guess we'll take this. And also getting hooked up here against twins is kind of a nightmare because like it can leave Charlotte there. You will always know exactly the anti-camp thing meter filling because you can't unbind Victor at that range. So as soon as you can unbind him, that's where you want to have Charlotte. If possible, somewhere hidden or something, but that's not really possible here. I could park her around the corner, but it's better to switch back and forth if you have a good view of the whole hall. I'm just going to pick up the Rebecca. She already gave up, huh? Damn. Alright, they unhook her, that's fine. I'm going to hook her here. You always want to hook them when you have downtime with Victor. That's pretty much also the reason why twins slug so much. Unlike some of the survivor mains will claim, it's not because all twin mains are nasty or whatever. It's because you want to, this goes for pretty much any killer. Wow, great sprint burst use. She goes through there, that's a guaranteed hit. Just like with any killer, you want to use your power pretty much as much as possible. And the way twins work is you're going to be rid of your power regularly. So whenever you do have your power, i.e. Victor, you want to use it. So if you down someone, make sure you keep going, attach them to someone else, and then hook while they're attached. That doesn't hit, okay. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the pallet thing, how the pallets work. I think I was too close to the pallet when I pounced. And that's her down, this pallet's gone. Bro, these bushes on this map, it's annoying. Like, that's another counter against twins. You just loop tiny objects. But, I mean, it won't buy you much. It will maybe buy you a second or two. But it can be kind of annoying. If you miss, it's going to cost you a lot. But make sure you don't. Okay, well, this game's pretty much over, but now, what I always like to do is hook them and then go very far away and then hope they unhook each other. Because a lot of the time they won't. And this loop behind me is probably the strongest loop on this whole map. Just because of the elevation, because it's stairs. Stairs are really funky. together with that short loop pallet, honestly, that's probably where you should run if you get chased by Victor. I mean, you can't really run from them, but if you're anywhere close to that, use it. And she's well hidden, so let's see. And more pink add-on value. I mean, honestly, she really should have been able to figure she has live, I think. Yes, she's going up. Pallets on this side this time, it's still there, but I'll just get rid of it. I mean, you can really deduce where Charlotte is from... Oh, wow. Imagine blinding at pallets, which is already kind of a dumb move, and then doing it this way. Oh, wow. Another counter against twins is when you're injured and you're very far from Charlotte. You have to be very far. Hop into a locker because it will... you can keep them in there as Victor for 10 seconds. And then they have to get out, go through that animation, get to a pallet. So you have around 13 seconds or maybe 14 to get over there and down them. And a 4.6 killer can walk like 2/3 of a map in that time. So they have to be really far away. And also, it's not that... Damn, should have backed up a little bit. You can usually kind of tell where Charlotte is from... like the last time they used Victor, stuff like that. It's just the thing with twins, 99% of teams are nowhere even close to ready to dealing with the twins. If they're not a full Swift, they have literally no chance. And if they are to really be on par, they need to bring certain stuff. Best case scenario, they have boons. They have like exponential and or circle of healing. She might be hiding down here. And what's also super great against twins is power struggle flip flop. And you can't loop twins. They have to accept this fact because even a lot of Swifts they always try to one up each other and show off in front of their friends how well they're looping the killer. None of that works against twins at all. So you have to play well as a team. And almost like teams that do that well and have the right builds, super rare. So like twins is actually a lot weaker if you're well prepared, but the nature of public games is they will never know which killer they're facing, and this is literally by far the least played killer, so the chance of them having all that stuff is very low. And even if they do, I mean, there is definitely still counter play. So yeah, I think twins are super fun, very reliable, kind of more like a field general type of killer. I mean, that's pretty much what I preferred anyways, like 4v1 killers. But they're still super strong in chase, and they're also great at teaching you... Oh, she has adrenaline. But I guess she doesn't care anymore. They're great at teaching you map awareness, stuff like that. So yeah, I think they're very fun. You should definitely give them a try. And yeah, let me know how it works out for you. Ryan Adler out.